Hey everyone, it's Ron. I had a pretty good week this week. I got quite a lot done. So, let's just get into it. So I wanted to do saving and loading, save the settings, and I wanted to do tutorials. 2 out of 3 of those have been done, and the tutorials I have started on, so that is pretty good. Saving and loading turned out to be pretty straightforward, as I'd hoped. So if I just start a new game, obviously there's nothing to save, it just loads into the first level and everything's fine. But if I was to say pause and then go back to the title screen and hit resume instead of new game, then I get put to the map screen. I can only flip between 2 levels. So let's go and complete level 2 quickly. Go into the little climbing cave, get the pickaxe. And then, once I've got the pickaxe, obviously, climb out of the cave. And once I've climbed out of the cave, I will then try to complete level 2. Alley-oop. And we're almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Just another. There we go. And now I have finished level 2. I can also access level 3. So now if I was to go back, and I was to go back to the main title screen, I can then also select level 3 because the progress has been saved. So if I hit resume, I have access to all 3 levels, progress saved successfully, hallelujah, just a single number to save, really nice. I've also added in a little exception. If there's no save data, it just says you've got no save data. It just lets the player know, just to be on the safe side. I'll just quickly go over the code a little bit. So firstly, I have a little load check, which just checks for the save data. It's just a little text file because it's just saving one number. So here you can see I'm just saving the number max level. And I'm saving it in what's called a data structure, a DS map. It's something in Game Maker, and it's just saved as a little string. It's encoded, so people can't mess with it. And then it's just saved as a little text file. And when we load the game, we pretty much do the exact same thing, but in reverse. So we take that and then we decode it instead of encode it. And then, hey presto, the game knows what to do, and it loads up the correct level, and it transitions into map screen, because obviously that's how you resume the game. And yeah, easy as 1, 2, 3. The saving and loading is actually taken from an old game I made called Summoner. So you can see here, if I try to load a game, it will spit out the message, you have no save data. This game was very ambitious. I made the classic solo developer problem of being too ambitious and overestimating my capabilities. Yeah, it happens. There's a download link in the description if you're interested and if you want to play this. Lots of stuff is really whip, obviously. Lots of stuff doesn't work quite right because I've abandoned this project. But if you're curious as to what an overly ambitious, bad project looks like, look no further than this project. It's a good example of what not to do, just in case you're curious. I've also made sure that the settings are saved now. So if I was to boot up the game, and if I wanted to say change the resolution or change the full screen, that will now be saved. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but while I was making the save system, it was such a small addition, and it just makes the game feel that bit more polished and just makes it feel that bit more usable. People who like to play in full screen don't want to go back to window mode every single time, and vice versa, people don't want to keep adjusting their window resolution every time. So it's a nice quality of life feature that's pretty easy to implement once the save system's there. The tutorials aren't in yet, but I've already created the sprites for them and they're already in Game Maker, as you can currently see. So all that needs to happen now is I just need to determine whether or not the player is using the gamepad or the keyboard. I have prompts for both, and then I just need to figure out under which particular circumstances I want the tutorials to appear, and then hey presto, all the tutorials will be done. So that's what I'm going to be working on next week. tutorials and improved tile sets because it's about time I had a bit more diversity there, and I'll go through that process next week. As always guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week.